Welcome back to the RPGMaker MV tutorial series level 2. Now we have some shops, but we don't have much to buy. So, let's create some items. Here we are back in RPGMaker MV, and if you recall, we set up our shop with a few items that we can buy. Where do our items come from? If you click on Database, click on Items, Potion, Magic, Water, Dispel, Herb and Stimulant are the only things that we have in our list at this point in time. How can we expand that? If you recall from level 1, you can click on Change Maximum, and you could put in a very large number if you wanted to. That would let you increase it up to a maximum of 2,000 items in a list. To add a new item, just click on a blank line. You could type in New Item, Icon, choose an icon, put in a description. This is an item. You have different types. Item types, regular items and key items show up in the menu under two different locations, and hidden items obviously do not show up. Set a price. This will be the default price in shops. Can you eat it? Yes or no? What's the scope? Enemies, allies, or self? And when can you use it? Always, battle screen, menu screen, or never. There are different things that you can add in here, like invocations, for example. Does it cause damage? Does it have an animation? And some other factors that you can add here, like hit points, magic points, or mana points. You can have damage to them, recovery, draining, and then you can add in effects. In level 1, we created some new items. So let's copy those in. I'm going to go to my projects folder. I'm going to open the level 1 tutorial and open that file. You can actually have two different projects open at the same time. So here I've got my first game, which was level 1 tutorial. If I click on the database there, click on items, I can see that I had made some changes, including adding descriptions, for example. And simply right click, copy, go back to my new project, in my new project database, right click, paste. There's my restores 500 hit points. I can copy this one as well, paste, and same thing with each of these items, because we did actually change some of the factors in here. Copy all of those, paste. Here we have a new elixir item and what was called a TP charge. So now we have a short list of items, including a couple of new ones. How can we expand this list quickly and easily for our short game so that we have a little bit more to do? One way is to copy in the files that come with RPGMaker MV and stored in your DLC folder. So how do we find those files? Let's go and have a look for them. If you recall in an earlier episode, we went to our resource manager, we clicked on DLC, and we clicked in the address bar so that we could copy the address of our DLC folder. We then went to a new Explorer window, click in the address bar, press enter, and that will bring up our DLC folder. Another way to access this is if you're on Steam, you can find your program files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, RPGMaker MV, DLC. Now you may not know it, but there is actually a slightly expanded database that comes with RPGMaker MV, and it's not in your DLC folder, it is one level up. It's called New Data Fantasy EN, and it comes with a set of the JavaScript files that includes data for each of these categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this over. Before we do, let's make sure that we close our project. We'll then go back to our folder with all of our files. We'll copy this back over here, and it's under data. So if we click on the data folder in our project, we can replace the files in the destination. Go back to my project. I open it up. And let's see what effect that's had. Click on database. And I can now see that I have a whole set of new items that I can now use in my game. It's important to note that you have actually overwritten the data, and so now the shop is a bit out of whack. Okay, it's now looking for item number 1, which is a spare, so that's been changed to a potion. Item number 2 is blank because there's nothing in that space, so you might call that a super potion. Item number 3 is also blank, might call that a full potion, etc, etc. But maybe you don't want to sell the super potion in the village. Maybe you still only want to sell magic water. Maybe you only want to sell stimulant, for example. Okay, and let's say a dispel herb. You can see that the weapons have also changed. We'll go through this in a bit more detail, but now we have a short sword and we have a leather vest for the armor. We'll go over those in the next episode. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider smashing those like and subscribe buttons, as they do help with the algorithm. Now it's your turn to go make a game. See you in the next one.